Thanks so much for coming over to help me make my cosplay, Scarlett.
Of course, you know how much I love cosplaying.
Exactly. And I think this cosplay I want to do is going to be really prop heavy, and your props are always so cool.
Sounds like fun. So what are you cosplaying as?
What do you mean? I thought it was obvious.
Oh, I mean, I guess I'm just having some trouble figuring out what you need this many feathers and hundreds of different sized googly eyes for. And is that a Sailor Scout uniform?
It is. That was the easy part.
What are we even making?
Angel wings.
Oh, I think I get it now. Are you cosplaying Ultimate Winged Angel from Sailor Moon?
Yep.
Awesome. So then what are the googly eyes for?
We're making a biblically accurate version.
Excuse me?
Be not afraid.
Nope, sorry. Can't stop, won't stop, must smile. How can I not? I'm so happy I could just die.
Welcome to Gate Crashers, a podcast dedicated to kicking open the door to your next favorite thing. Our mission, our creed, our code is this: to make all things more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a universe that you'll fall in love with. I'm Amanda, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Scarlett, and I also use she, her pronouns. Hey everybody, we're excited to be here. I am really excited about this episode. How do you feel, Amanda?
I'm so excited. I was like, Dad, do you think Scarlett would want to do this one with me?
I literally sat down and watched this entire series last Saturday all in one sitting. I was like, yep, we're putting it on, and did all of it, and I love it. I love it.
So
it's
good.
So great. But for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about today, let me read the little back of the box blurb for you. Today we are going to be talking about My Dress-Up Darling, which follows Wakana Gojo, a reserved first-year high schooler who dreams of becoming a hina doll craftsman. For those that don't know, hina dolls are traditional Japanese dolls. And one day, his popular, bubbly, and incredibly gorgeous classmate, Marin Kitagawa, recruits him to help her make her cosplaying dreams come true. Though he has no experience sewing clothing for real people, only dolls, he agrees to help Marin, and the two embark on an adorably nerdy and endearing journey of friendship and potential first love.
I just love this show so much. Oh my god.
It's so cute. It's so adorable. Gojo is so sweet and a simple idiot, and I love him.
Everything about this show is so much fun. And here's a brief history on it. So My Dress-Up Darling is currently an ongoing manga series written and illustrated by Shinichi Fukuda. It began serialization in Square Enix's Young Gangan in January 2018 and has been compiled into 9 manga volumes so far, 4 of which are currently available in English. It was recently adapted into an anime for the winter 2022 season, with 12 episodes airing from January to March. And unfortunately, and very sad for me, there are currently no plans for a second season, so now I'm just aggressively collecting the manga.
I feel like I read somewhere that there should be a second season because the manga's still ongoing. So I'm hoping that when more of it comes out, they'll go ahead and maybe they're just waiting. Also, I guess because it's still fairly new, waiting to see how it does.
Yeah.
Maybe. There better be a second season.
God, please.
There better be a second season. I'm going to write Square Enix a very angry email and be like, listen here, you might be the creators of Final Fantasy, but that doesn't give you the right to cancel and to crush my dreams and my hopes of shipdom with characters. Some of the themes that are present in this show, being yourself, which I absolutely loved, and I really enjoyed the push for not hiding who you are and kind of opening yourself to like really being true to yourself. Trying new things, so trying to jump in might be something that you're not necessarily familiar with at first, but jumping into that and having a go at it. Learning to be vulnerable, learning to open yourself to your friends and those close to you and letting down your guard, and embracing creativity and just exploring new ideas and finding ways for your passion and your creativity to flow.
Yeah, and this show has like so many, of course, other overlapping themes, you know, the classic friendship, and just, you know, high school shenanigans and having lots of fun. So this makes this a really great anime and manga for like a lot of different people. Definitely fans of romances, anyone who's like easily invested in just like really sweet relationships, really sweet romance, who gets easily invested in like sweet lonely boys and bold popular girls being awkward and dancing around their feelings, which is very specific, but it works. Cosplayers would definitely love this. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff in here that I would love for us to talk about a little bit later in the episode, especially since, you know, Scarlett loves to cosplay.
I do.
Yeah. And, you know, anybody who enjoys characters who subvert expectations, fans of stories that are simply stress-free, only happiness, no thoughts, head empty, and anybody who just likes something that's wholesome.
Yeah, it really is a sweet, wholesome show, and I devoured it. I was like, okay, next episode. Let's go. Where can you get this? The manga is typically available to buy wherever you usually purchase your books, though the ongoing publishing supply chain issues might make them a little difficult to get a hold of. And they're currently out of stock almost everywhere. So it's kind of like test your luck.
Yeah.
See what shows up. The anime is available to stream for free on Crunchyroll. Both the sub and dub are available, but the sub is streaming for free. So the dub, I think you pay for a Crunchyroll subscription for.
Yes. Awesome. And little break in the episode to avoid spoilers.
We'll talk to you after you check out My Dress Up Darling. Go watch it.
Go watch it and come back. You
can sit down and watch it in like a day. So go do that, pause this episode, and come back. We'll see you tomorrow in the future.
I can't do this. It's too exhausting. I've got a life to live. I can't be obsessed with the cute little seamstress boy. No, shut up. There's no way I'm in love with the dude who's besties with Grandpa. That doesn't work for me.
And we are back.
It's us from the future.
It's us in the future. I'm positive you paused this episode and went to go watch and fell in love the same way we have. But,
yes.
You know, we are very excited to, you know, not only talk about My Dress Up Darling, but we're also like super jazzed to have like an all-girl gang recording this week.
It's the best.
It's so much fun, especially since we're talking about a seinen.
Oh my god! Hold on. That just what you said made me think. Okay, so you know what we have to have now? We have to have Gatecrashers Girl Gang shirts.
Oh my god!
GGGC. Girl Gang Gatecrashers or Gatecrashers Girl Gang. GCGG. Yes, that has to be a thing. We have to make a design, and we have to sell those.
And then
for those that don't know,
for Pride Month, just make it even more complicated. And gay girl gang cake crashers.
Gay girl cake crashers gang. So for those that don't know, we currently sell merch. You can find our merch on our website at www.gatecrashers.fan. There is a merch tab. Go get yourself some Gatecrashers merch. We have sweatshirts and shirts, and I think we have cups,
stickers,
and hats and stickers. Get yourself some Gatecrashers merch, and if you would like a Gatecrashers girl gang or a Gatecrashers gay girl gang shirt, please comment on our Twitter, comment on our website, and just let's start a hashtag Gatecrashers girl gang. I'm all for that.
Merch plug.
Merch plug.
But
so yeah, we're excited. We're an all girl gang.
We're jazzed.
Here in episode.
We're jazzed. It's great. But I am excited to be talking about a seinen for a very specific reason, and I don't think we have done a wider breakdown of what the different anime categories are. So just for a short little history, seinens are manga typically marketed toward young adult men, which can focus on anything from action to politics to science fiction, fantasy, relationships, sports, and comedy. And it differs from shonen manga, which are specifically marketed toward teen male audiences from 12 to 18. And they're the male version of shoujo and josei, which are usually marketed toward teen girls and young adult women respectively. So it's super fun to be covering My Dress Up Darling and usurping it from the men.
Usurping it
from the
men.
male gaze. Because
yes,
this anime spoke to me.
It did. I will also say that this anime is not afraid to be horny on main.
So horny on main.
So horny, and I'm living for it. I'm here for it. There were parts in that show, and I was like, what do you mean? What the fuck? You mean that's all I'm getting? What is this?
But what's really funny about it being so horny on main is because Gojo is just so not that kind of unrelatable, insufferable kind of male character in those more typical horny on main anime. He's very much just why is this happening? What is happening?
Exactly. And he's I don't know how to handle this. What is happening? What's happening to me?
Is just I look hot, right? And he's I don't know how to talk to girls. Why is she talking to me?
He's please go away.
Please stop. I must resist temptation.
Literally, he's I need you to leave right now. He's please leave. I need to be alone for a minute.
Gojo and Marin are the best. Gojo is best boy. Kitagawa is best girl. You put them together, OTP.
They are adorable, and the show itself is not it was not afraid to it wasn't afraid to just be itself and to do what it wanted. And I think there's a scene where Kitagawa and Gojo are walking. It's after they go shopping for a bunch of her stuff, and they're just walking by this group of people, and they're just having a conversation, and it's great because they're just casually talking about this video game that he's playing in order to get reference for the cosplay that she wants to make. She's making a cosplay on this video game character, and the video game is a harem setup and you play as a guy, and like, you know, we all probably know those games.
That's like relatively explicit too.
Yes. And so he's playing this game, and he's literally playing it, and he's jotting down notes and like detailing like the character and what she looks like and her dress and her outfit. And so they're casually walking, and there's this one woman who's like, oh, teenagers. I remember when I used to be that age. And then you casually just hear them. Like Kitagawa was like, what part of the game are you in? He's like, oh, I'm just on the part where the guy's on stage and he can't stop ejaculating. And she's like, oh, I know where you're at. And just a casual conversation. And I'm like,
and this
okay,
woman in
this
the line
is
is just like, I've heard too much.
She's mortified.
I've seen too much.
But the fact that they were just casual, like it was no big deal. And I was like, I love this. This is wholesome. This is great.
Yeah. And like,
keep going.
Because like when Kitagawa like was talking about what the game was, I was like, I have no idea where this is gonna go. Because I watched the anime before I started reading the manga, and so I went in fully blind. And I was like, I have no idea where this is gonna go. And she started like explaining it, and I was like, what? And and Gojo is sitting over here like, why is this very gorgeous girl talking to me? Why is she talking about basically porn? Why? What does she mean? She wants me to sew her a dress. I don't understand, but I'm gonna do it anyway because he was like, oh, I have a skill that like is useful to this human, and they want me to do the thing, so like I guess I'll do it. And he has like no concept of the fact that Kitagawa also wants to be his friend. Which is so sad.
It's adorable. It's like but here's another thing that I appreciate is like I appreciate how she is a character who, once she realizes that she's starting to fall in love with him, she doesn't like necessarily try to deny it or kind of hide it. Like she's more like, okay, I like this guy. I love him. Like, this is it. I kind of see myself with him. And it's kind of like she doesn't outwardly tell him, but to herself, she's not denying it. And I actually like that. Because with a lot of those classic, like, shoujo, like, style, you know, you always see the female, like, always trying to, like, I can't love them. Or I'm not in love with them. And, like, that denial. She's like, nope, I like this guy.
She's like, no, he's it.
He's it. He's my boy.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed with the fact that, like, she's so genuine in all aspects of her entire life. Like, at no point does she ever, like, put up a front, really? And I think it's really cool to see that, like, she was just an incredibly popular kid at their school just through her own merit of just being herself. And sometimes sometimes her being herself really throws Gojo off because he's just like, your personality is so big and I have spent my entire life making myself small.
Yeah. He's like, I've never had this experience. He's often, you even see in the first episode or two, that he often like let his classmates and the other guys kind of walk all over him. And they were like, oh, well, we're your friends, so we'll do this. So kind of taking advantage, and she kind of shuts that down. And, you know, you often think with the popular character, the popular kid trope in like shows and stuff like that, that they are, they tend to be more so of the like mean crowd, like the popular kid, and they've kind of let it go to their head. But she was the exact opposite. She was like, yeah, I'm popular, but she's like, you can't let people take advantage of you and do that. And you have to stand up for yourself. And I was like, yes, Yes, breaking down those stereotypes.
Yeah, and she even, like, backs that up with action, too, where it like, she doesn't just say, like, don't let other people take advantage of you. She's very much just like, I'm asking you to provide a service for me, so I'm going to pay for all of the materials, and I'm going to try and help you whenever you might need help. Like, she uses her actions to kind of beat that principle into him of, like, ask for what you need and like ask for help and don't let people just walk all over you. Especially that moment where she has no concept of how long it's supposed to take for someone to make a cosplay, and so she's kind of just like, here's the stuff, here's this cosplay event that would be really cool for us to go to, and like Gojo just assumes that she wants the cosplay done for that time. And so he runs himself into the ground for it. And when she finds out, she's like, why did you do that?
Yeah, he, so she also, does something else where she's like, she doesn't hide the fact that she's friends with him. And I really like that too. Like, she's like, no, I'm his friend. And like, even at school, she's like, I'm going to go ahead. You know, I'm going to hang out with him and be like, hey, I know you. And not trying to hide that, where like, again, some people like they would try to hide like, oh, I don't want to be seen with this weird kid who doesn't have friends and who is less popular. So she was like, no, I'm going to outwardly. And then people start like speculating, like, oh, are they dating? Are they like together? And he even confronts her and he's like, why are you doing this? People think that we're together. And she's like, so?
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I could care less. And I'm like, I love you.
Yeah.
You are wholesome.
It's like they take the old school like version of what this show could have been, and they sort of filter that through Gojo and have Kitagawa just completely destroy it. Because he's, like, expecting all of the things that, like, a lot of viewers might be expecting. I definitely went in and was like, oh no, what if after Kitagawa gets what she wants, she, like, doesn't want to be friends with Gojo anymore? Like, that was definitely a worry that I had, and I was just like, that would crush me personally.
That would crush my soul. Yeah. And I think that Gojo plays the role of the viewer in the audience and what he's kind of experiencing. And, you know, I kind of think that that's probably the same, that, what is the word? Kind of the same that the audience members might have. Like, that he is the character you're supposed to connect with and sympathize with and to see yourself in. And I think that Marin and Kitagawa, I think that she just takes those expectations that audiences have and just kind of flips them. And I think that creates for a really fun dynamic.
Yeah. She's like the opposite of a manic pixie dream girl in that, like, Gojo is imparting absolutely zero expectations on her. Like, he expects literally nothing from her, and she just keeps giving and giving and giving and giving, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this. And she's like, take it because I am your friend.
Yeah.
Just take my love.
What other characters did you like?
I love Grandpa. Grandpa is incredible.
Grandpa's an idiot.
Grandpa is so silly, especially when he, like, when Gojo is taking, like, all those notes for the fucking hentai game, and Grandpa walks in, and he's like, I don't know what's happening. I don't want to know what's happening. I'm going to leave now.
He just peeks in and he hears noises from the game and he's like, let me just close this door back. He's like, let me slowly back away.
Yeah, and like Grandpa's also like just super...
Or when he sees like the tights come out of his bag and he's like, oh no.
He's like, what's happening? He like goes through all 5 stages of grief before he's like, you know what, it's fine, I accept him exactly the way he is. And then Gojo comes home with Kitagawa and he's like, I'm making her a costume. And Grandpa's like, what?
He's like, oh, I already went through the process of acceptance. Now you mean I have to undo that?
And like, I think he's just such a really sweet and great role model, especially because like so much of Gojo's like backstory and like trauma is him being made fun of, especially by like young girls for having this dream of being a hina doll craftsman, and like his female classmates being like, that's fucking weird. Why are you so girly? And he's just like, okay. And I also think that was like a cool subversion of like him being bullied by young girls in his class and then like also being walked all over by his male classmates, because his male classmates like don't see him as a threat in any sense of the word. And like his male or his female like classmates and, you know, friends as a kid said, oh, you like these dolls, you're weird because of gender stereotypes and gender roles that society has created. Fuck gender roles. Fuck them.
Saying, oh, you're a boy, you can't play with dolls. Look.
And like that's what makes Grandpa so cool, because like Grandpa is like, because Grandpa's a hina doll craftsman and Gojo wants to be like his grandpa, and so Grandpa's like, okay, so you just gotta practice, and, you know, it's gonna be great and amazing, woohoo! But also at the same time, Grandpa's like, please, for the love of God, make a friend. Please make friends. Leave the house.
Please make friends. Get out of here.
And so, like, he starts being friends with Kitagawa, and he's like, thank God. A friend.
Yep. So there was also Juju and Shinju.
Yeah.
What did you think about them?
I thought they were so cute, especially Shinju. Like, Juju's great. I love her. I love that she is just so cranky. But Shinju is just so adorable, and she's just like, I just want to be like my big sister.
Yeah, she's so cute. Also, age in anime. What is
real.
it? It's not real.
It's not real.
We're going like, that's been a constant sidebar. That's been a constant issue I see all the time on like TikTok and like within the anime community, and you got a bunch of people that are saying, like, mostly I guess like younger kids are saying, well, you can't like anime and you can't like this character that's a young, like, you can't like Naruto. And I'm like, but I was that age when I was like, that show came out, and now you're saying I can't like those characters that because they don't age, because they're not real.
Fictional.
Yeah, this age in anime doesn't mean anything. You literally have children characters that are drawn to look like children, but they're 400 years old. And then you got characters that, you got characters that are drawn like grown-ass men and women and non-binary characters out there. Shout out to my non-binary pals out there. You've got all of these different characters that are drawn like adults. But guess what?
Like,
go slap them with the age of 15 on there.
Literally, I looked up the starting ages for the characters in One Piece the other day, because I was like, oh, I know there's a time skip, like, how old are they now? And I was like, what do you mean Luffy and Zoro are the same age, and that age is 16.
No, absolutely not. You're telling me that all of these characters in popular anime, talking My Hero, talking about like, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, this show, Jujutsu Kaisen, all of that. You're telling me that this child over here, that you're telling me is a child, but yet has a full like 6-pack and is drawn to look like a 20-something-year-old? Get out of here. No.
Time isn't real.
Age is not real in anime, okay? We're ending that debate. It's not real.
It's a cartoon.
It is a cartoon. Point
to Juju and Shinju.
What I'm saying, point being made.
Please look up these two
Shinju,
characters. Don't look up their ages.
Just look up the characters.
Which one is older.
Look up the characters. Tell us. We'll give you a second. Look them up and look up those pictures, and in your head, decide who is the older character.
You're gonna be wrong.
You got it? If you said that Juju, the little tiny child, is the youngest one, she is not. She's older than Gojo. She's like a second year at high school. She's older than Gojo and Marin. And her sister is in middle school.
Her sister is fucking tall as shit, extremely developed.
Yes. Developed far beyond what most middle school children are developed as.
She has the tiniest little voice.
Yep.
She's so cute.
Yep. See,
and
again.
Her sister is a nightmare human.
Age isn't real in anime. We just proved it.
I did love
Juju is like cranky, and I love her. She's adorable. And then Shinju looking up to her sister. And I think one of the greatest things that I loved with this whole, like, their little story mini arc, was how Shinju was usually taking pictures and did the photography, but she really wanted to, get into it and try cosplaying. And she really wanted to do a character, but she wasn't sure that she could do it because of her body type. And the way her figure was. And Gojo helps her get this character who she decides to cosplay as a male character from an anime that they all liked. And she does it, and it's perfect, and she looks amazing. And it really just sent home the message, and this is as a cosplayer saying this, and to anyone who wants to do cosplay or is a cosplayer, you can cosplay whoever you want. It does not matter skin tone. It does not matter your body type. It does not matter your gender, your sexual orientation, whatever. If you have a character that you want to cosplay as, do it. Of course, don't be stupid. Don't darken your skin. You don't have to. You can just be that character.
I think that was something that they, just to sort of talk more about, like, the cosplay elements of this in particular, like, there is a character in the show that is dark-skinned that Kitagawa wants to cosplay as, and I think I was kind of nervous about, like, that storyline, and I was like, how is this going to go? Like, what are they going to do with this? And I think something that was really interesting is that Kitagawa does end up, like, getting a tan, and she's like, I need to be dark to play this character.
But I think she got a, like, foundation. She put, like, foundation all over her body.
All over her body. And, like, they sidestep it very well in that they kind of just, like, they did it, and then they were like, okay, we don't need to do this again.
Yeah.
We don't need to go outside. We don't need to take pictures. We're done.
Yeah. But I think that's a big thing, a big theme with, like, cosplay is just like, you can, a big talking point in cosplay and a big theme within the show is that you can cosplay who you want. You don't have to look exactly like that character. You don't have to match their body type or skin tone or etc. You know, you can dress up as who you want, and I think it was a big push for that, and I really enjoyed that, especially seeing like Shinju, like that was her first one, and trying to make her, you know, trying to be able to change her body shape to kind of mimic that of a male body type, versus this, you know, tall middle school child. She's like, okay.
Yeah, and I think
it was really cute.
It's also something that, like, instead of it feeling like just a shoehorned, you know, message type thing, I think they worked it very well into, like, all of the characters' arcs, because, like, Kitagawa is very much, like, I like these characters, and I also fit their vibe and their type, so, like, she doesn't really have that, that sort of inner conflict. But then you have Juju, who she's very much just like, I look like this and I can only cosplay characters who have my body type and who look like middle schoolers and who look really innocent and sweet. Like, these are the only characters that I can cosplay because this is how I present, despite the fact that she does feel more drawn to, like, some of the more empowering and like more grown-up characters, but she, like, feels like she can't cosplay as them, and she sort of accidentally imbues that mindset into her younger sister. And so, like, when Juju finds out that, like, Shinju was so scared to cosplay, not only because she, like, didn't feel like she could live up to her sister's, like, really intense cosplaying reputation, but also because she's like, well, I'm not a boy, I can't cosplay as a boy, and therefore I shouldn't. I think it was a really great moment between the two sisters where Juju was like, okay, everything that I have said about myself, we're gonna scrap it, and it doesn't apply to you, and we're gonna start over.
Yeah, I think their relationship was very well done, and it was really cute throughout the show.
Yeah, and I think something that's also super cool is that, like, this is a romance, and, like, this is a high school, like, comedy. And so there's, like, lots, like, they go on lots of dates, and they, you know, they do a lot of things that, like, aren't cosplaying, and I think they had a really good balance of just, you know, classic high school hijinks mixed with the inner workings of cosplay. But, like, I think it's really cool that they, like, do show a cosplaying convention. Like, they, like, go to one.
Yeah, that one's really good. They just, like, go to take pictures and see all the other cosplayers and stuff. I thought that was really cute. I think we had said before, like, Gojo and Marin, OTP, love them.
Aww.
She's so precious. Like, Marin Kitagawa is adorable. And I love her. Definitely thinking about cosplaying her because she is adorable, and it would be easy because
it would be super
just get a schoolgirl outfit like hers with, like, the teal and pink and blonde hair.
What's even funnier is that, like, you could, like, do a cosplay in a cosplay.
Do a cosplay in cosplay, exactly.
I am Kitagawa cosplaying as the Black Lobelia.
Right. Yep. I actually like that Black Lobelia costume.
Yeah,
that one's really cool.
So cool. They were all, like, all of the costumes were super cool. And, like, I don't know, I thought it was, as someone who, like, doesn't cosplay because, like, I don't have the discipline to do it, like, I will start with an idea and I will get materials, and then I will be like, and that's enough. I'm not going this step further. I think it's, like, really, like, I personally would love to be Kitagawa and just be like, here's money, make me something.
Yes. here's all the money. Go, please sew me an outfit.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will befriend.
Help me live my dreams.
I think, like you said, there's a lot of cute moments. Also, absolutely hilarious amounts of horny.
Oh my god.
Horniness in the show.
Oh my god, when he has to take her measurements.
That's hilarious. And he's just like, I can't touch her. If I touch her, things will happen, and I can't let that happen.
He's like, I can't measure her bust line. I can't do this. And then she's like, yeah, you can, because I wore a swimsuit. Because, like, that makes it better. I'm not in my
just
underwear.
like, oh god.
I'm in a swimsuit.
Yeah, that one. I think definitely peak was the second to last episode, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh
I was like, that's how you're ending that. You were so close, and then you get a phone call. I was like, are you shitting me?
I was screaming at my TV.
I was sitting there like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, I don't know what I personally expected, really, out of, like, this
I was hoping
show.
they would at least kiss.
Right.
But no, you took that away from me.
Like, listen, we're not going to spoil it, but, like, it was the perfect setup.
It was
had
perfect.
Everything.
It had cute moments.
It had
built
tension.
Up. There was a lot of sexual tension. There was a lot.
There was so much.
Especially the way it was drawn and the camera angles.
The fucking director was like, I know what I'm doing.
It's like, I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm filming this and what we're going to do. I need you to draw this panel just like this.
It's so much fun. And then they go on their little date.
And then he carries her.
He carries her
because
all the
her
way
shoes
home.
hurt. Because her shoes hurt. And they watch...
she showed up in that yukata, and I was like, I'm going to die.
Oh, it was so cute.
I'm going to die.
Her nice little hair was curled.
And it's
like
just,
pinned back.
And she just loves him so much. And like
they ate a bunch of food. She ate ice cream.
Her internal monologue kills me. Like the second she realized, oh wait, I really like this guy. Her entire internal monologue was just, oh my god, I get to hang out with the guy I'm in love with all the time.
Right. She, like, it's very sweet. Like, she cares about him. And she doesn't try to hide it. She, like, completely is on board with it. And it's like, no, I like this guy. He has helped me. Mm-hmm. And she genuinely likes him as a person.
Yeah, she genuinely loves, like, every single thing about him, even the parts that, like, other people think are weird, and even the parts that he himself thinks are weird about himself. He's like, yeah, I have this really weird thing, and she's just like, but I love it.
I know. She doesn't, like, when she finds out he's got the hina dolls and, like, the doll in his room, she's like, oh, she's so pretty. Mm-hmm. Like, I love this. She doesn't, like, that's weird that this high schooler has a doll or something. Like, she genuinely, like, is like, wow, that's awesome. And I love that you can do that and you have a passion for something.
Yeah, and it's really cool because, like, it's not even like because what's really great is that they don't create her as a character. She wasn't created as a character specifically there to make Gojo feel better, because she herself had thought that her wanting to cosplay was weird and that, like, other people would make fun of her for it. And then when Gojo was like, I mean, no, that's not weird at all, she was like, oh, really? And, like, I don't know. I loved every single episode because every single time they got to hang out, it was always such a great combination of like them working toward a common goal, but also Kitagawa just being like, we're gonna be friends and we're gonna hang out because like that's just what we do. Like we don't need to be doing cosplay things specifically for me to see you. Like when they went to the beach. That was fun.
Threw a burger at the seagull.
Threw a burger at the after the seagull absolutely murked her food.
Yep. They're like, take that! Go away! And they're like, run!
That was so funny.
Yeah, I genuinely think if this is definitely a show, recommend it to your friends, especially if, if they're definitely into cosplay. I think this is like a definite, like, anime show for cosplayers. Like, watch this show. There's a lot that I kind of connected to being a cosplayer, and like things like I can relate to Marin a lot. I can relate to Kitagawa because I do not know how to sew. I don't know how to make my own costumes. I usually buy them, and I would love to learn how to make them and get better, and I'm hoping to work on that skill. But watching that, definitely I could kind of see myself in her position because, yeah, I have no idea. I've tried to sew, and it's like, what is this? This is nothing. So I liked that. I liked the fact that it was one of the main characters is a cosplayer that doesn't know how to sew, because definitely there can be, with any fandom and with any community, there can be a toxicity. And I think within the cosplay community, there's a lot of people that look down on other cosplayers that don't make everything by hand. And people that don't make everything by hand could be for a multitude of reasons. It could be because they just don't have the skills yet, or maybe they don't really like making their stuff, and that's okay. Like maybe they just like dressing up and doing the other stuff. Maybe it's for financial reasons, because cosplay is expensive. Especially if you're making that stuff. It's also very, very expensive, because now you're getting the fabric, you're getting all of this other stuff.
And it's also very labor intensive too. Right.
And there's some people within the community that look down on other people that don't make everything. And view them as like less than a cosplayer. And so I really like that one of the main characters doesn't like hide the fact, like she's like, I can't make it. I need somebody to help me make it. But that doesn't take away from her love of doing it and her love of dressing up and being the character. Which I think as a cosplayer, that's the thing I like most. Yes, I would like to learn how to make my costumes and eventually, really get good at doing the makeup and stuff. But I like putting on the costume and becoming the character and doing stuff as the character. Like this most recent cosplay, the anime, the Philly Fan Expo.
Yeah.
That we went to, there was a kid who was dressed up as Spider-Man, and he saw my like Spider-Gwen cosplay, and he got really excited, and like I posed with him and like did some like web shots and like, interacted. And that's what I love. That's what I really get joy in, is when I was dressed up as Froppy, there was like a little girl who was dressed up as Froppy too, and she wanted to get a picture. She was like, "Sue you," and I was like, "Oh." And like that's what I thrive off of when I dress up, is the kids and the other people that see that character and they're like, "Oh my God, I want to go get a picture. That's like my character to life." And that for me is like what I get out of it. That's the love and the fun that I get out of cosplaying.
Yeah, and I can definitely see like cosplayers, especially cosplayers who sort of think the way that you do, really identifying with Kitagawa. And I think what My Dress Up Darling does really well is like kind of giving snippets into all of the other, like, schools of thought, I guess. Because, like, Juju, like, got into cosplay because she bought a costume from a store and it didn't fit her, but she's like, it didn't matter to her because she got to embody this character that was, like, really important to her, and that's sort of what put her on the path to being a cosplayer. But she was also the kind of cosplayer who, like, didn't want to interact with anybody, and she's like, no, I do this for me. I'm taking the pictures, and I'm not going to interact with people who are trying to, you know, who are, like, seeing themselves in her or in the character that she's cosplaying, because she, like, wasn't interested in that, versus, like, when Kitagawa went to the con, and, like, first of all, they pointed out, like, a whole bunch of people that, you know, it was like, oh, they took some liberties with their costume, and they, like, made it specific to them, even though it's, like, still a specific character, or they were like, yeah, this person, and it looks like this person bought their costume, but, like, they're having so much fun, and they are clearly, like, really into it, and they didn't put that down at all, and, like, Kitagawa was just so excited to, first of all, she was, like, shocked that people wanted to take pictures with her at all, and then she was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I think the big message is that anyone can cosplay and anyone can make costumes. Like, I mean, you just, if it's something that you want to do, you just go for it, and you learn and you put in the time and you just figure it out and have fun with it. And I think that's a big takeaway message from this show.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, this is probably, like, my favorite show of recent anime that I've watched.
It's definitely, like, of the winter 2022 season, of, like, all the ones that came out, this was the one where I, every week, because I watched it as the episodes were dropping, I was like, give me more immediately. I need it. And, like, it's not like it's necessarily covering new ground in terms of themes, but it's doing it through such a unique vehicle that, like, not, like, nothing else has really done before.
Yeah, there's not, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows that's listening, let us know, but I don't think I've ever heard of another anime that's literally about cosplaying. That's about, like, making costumes and, like, the process of putting together a cosplay and stuff like that. Like, they were so detailed with it, too. They were like, oh, the makeup and making sure the makeup looks right, and this is how their eyes are, and this is the blush, and, like, that stuff, too, was, like, really detailed. And picking out the wig and, like, all these other pieces, like, they were like, oh, well, maybe we should go with this one because it actually looks like this and we can cut it. And
thinking of the different types of fabric for a costume.
Yeah. They got heavy fabric, and that ended up, they learned from that mistake, because it was that was a mistake. They learned the heavier fabric, not a good idea when you're outside.
Yeah. So, like, I know there's definitely, especially manga that deal with fashion, but not necessarily this subset of fashion. So yeah, if anybody listening knows of any other, not even just like anime or manga, I guess, but like any media that really tells this kind of story through the lens of cosplay, that would be so neat to like talk about more. And
yeah, let us know.
Yeah. But yeah, watch My Dress Up Darling, because not only are you going to learn really cool things about cosplay, but you're also going to watch the most wholesome romance unfold with a side of horny.
Yes. Wholesome with a little side of horny. I think that's the tagline. I think that should be the tagline for My Dress Up Darling.
I mean,
make it happen.
That's probably going to be the description for this video, so
please. Oh god, yep, that's what it is. Okay, Dan, you're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and put that in. The tag is wholesome with a side of horny. That is gonna be the Twitter tweet.
If we don't do that, yell at us.
Yes.
It's probably just because we forgot. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for us. I don't know, Scar, if you had any other thoughts that you wanted to noodle around?
No, I think it's good. It's a good show. I really had fun watching it. I think anybody else, I think you'll have fun watching it as well. Go watch it. Give us your thoughts. Share with us your thoughts on Twitter. We would love anytime that you listen to an episode and you have some thoughts or want to engage in conversation, please tweet at us at GateCrashersPod. We would love to have a dialogue and to talk about this. It's fun. We really want to be able to connect with listeners and audiences in our community. So please just shout us out and let's talk. Let's talk about My Dress Up Darling. Let's talk about your thoughts and your takeaways from the show.
Yeah, and you can catch us across pretty much all other social media as well, including TikTok and Instagram at GateCrashersPod. And like we mentioned in our merch plug before, we have a website, www.gatecrashers.fan, where we post book reviews and show reviews, and we talk about,
video game reviews.
Video games, and we talk about sex and whiskey now, so that's a fun.
Woo!
I feel like it just works with this pod that we just recorded.
Yeah, so you can go check out Sex and Whiskey. You can go check out that series after you're done watching My Dress Up Darling. It'll fit well together.
And a really cool post about Kafka.
Fun.
We run the gamut at Gatecrashers.
We do.
But thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
The Gate Crashers.